Hi, it's Tara Green, and I'm going to bring you the weekend astrology aspects. So up at the top there, you can see there, we can see the moon is in Scorpio. This is for February the 5th. Moon's in Scorpio, squaring Mercury and Aquarius. Now, Mercury, of course, is retrograde. I'm just trying to straighten this out here. Mercury, of course, is retrograde, and so, you know, my computer almost crashed this evening because I was reinstalling my astrology software, my Solar Fire, and it is totally corrupted, and my whole desktop shook. So I had to send it a lot of prayers to make sure it didn't crash, and then clean it up, and then make sure, everybody, that you do back up your files. So the Scorpio moon has taken us into our depths. How has it felt for you the last few days? Usually it's the most intense, obsessive. Scorpio rules finance, sex, money, power, control, and we saw all the money, power, control, finance things really coming up in the news there, all the altcoins and Dogecoins and Bitcoins and all that stuff in the news, which is totally Aquarius, right? Now, Scorpio moon makes one last aspect, 4:20 a.m., it's already past that, Eastern Standard Time. Moon in Scorpio sextiles Pluto and Capricorn, so during the night, in your dreams, your Pluto shadows, the Nazis, your tormentors, your shadow side comes up, and that needs to be dealt with. Okay, that needs to be faced. Now, the moon is void, of course, at that time, 4:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the left, and the lighter is Eastern and the darker is Pacific. And then the moon will enter Sag. So as the moon changes signs from one sign and element to the other, you notice the big change. So from deep waters of Scorpio into the fiery, upbeat, optimistic energies of Sagittarius. So this is my sign, the sun, my moon, my Mercury in Sagittarius. So I always feel better when the moon's in Sag, and so does everybody else, because Sag is the sign of optimism, of truth, of adventure, of exploration, of learning, of connecting to unique things and mystical things, and always on the hunt for the big picture questions like, why are we here? So the moon in Sag sextiles Venus and Saturn very close together in Aquarius there. So bring on the love for Aquarians and Capricorns, because Saturn still rules Capricorn and Aquarius and Sag. So we want to connect over the internet. We want to get serious about love, and that's really the big major aspect of later today and tomorrow. Get to that in a minute. So woo them with humor, woo them with honesty, woo them with politics. You know, Sagittarius has a sense of justice and politics, and they're the sign of the judges. Yes, they can be very judgmental. And so travel in your mind, travel through the internet, travel with your questions. You know, sextiles are easy aspects when the planets are at 60 degrees from each other, so they're very supportive. Easy. Things are pretty light. So the Sag moon trines Chiron in Aries, so we can speak about our wounds, we can be open about, we can joke about them. Maybe that's best. Sometimes humor is the best weapon. So, you know, make jokes at people, you know, and open up to being more intimate there. Now, the moon then in conjuncts Uranus and Taurus, that's in the evening, that's in Pacific Standard Time. That won't happen until the next day in Eastern Standard Time on the 6th. So in conjuncts, that funny looking upside down V with the line is a quincunx, it's called. I love that word too. 150 degree angles, so Sagittarius to Taurus, you count them, 30 degrees a sign. So Sag to Capricorn to Aquarius to Pisces to Aries to Taurus, that's 5 signs away. So Uranus and Taurus, of course, rules the internet and brings it down to earth and makes it real and gives it value. Taurus is about values, ruled by Venus. So again, you're trying to wrap your head around what's really going on here, and maybe learning something new, or being frustrated that you can't figure something out technologically. And again, with Mercury retrograde, there is lots of technical snafus, so yeah, you could be frustrated about that. Now, the big item of this weekend is Venus conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. Now, Venus is in all her glory. She's the goddess of love, of beauty, of harmony, of the arts, of luxury, of money, and creativity. So she rules all relationships of all types, and everybody's inner feminine. So I don't want to get into the sexual politics. Everybody has an inner feminine, masculine, whatever you identify with. That is just a polarity in a sense, a receptive polarity. So conjunct Saturn. Saturn is the planet of limitations, obstacles, testing, but also commitment. Saturn puts the bones on things and they make it real. So an internet love might have a big commitment going on. You might, could be engagements or meeting someone who's older. Saturn rules elders, mentors, taking yourself more seriously, making a serious commitment in terms of money. Again, Venus rules money, finance. Again, it could be putting my money down on the line here on the internet. But it can also be, again, the sense of limiting. So there can be outside limitations. Saturn rules history, and Saturn is the old boys network. So again, there can be more information about laws coming down and limitations on people buying, as we've been seeing. But basically, Saturn restricts whatever it's at. So it can be a karmic love connection at this point too. Saturn does rule karma. So it could be a past life, someone that you meet or connect with, or it could be really tuning into that sense of taking responsibility for yourself. Because once you take responsibility yourself, you can free yourself up. And Saturn Aquarius is a little bit freer. Okay, now we can see a repeat of those aspects as we get into the 6th here. Venus then sextiles Chiron and Aries early in the morning. Again, talking about our wounds, being open, intimate, letting down our armor. The moon sextiles Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so that's a very lovely aspect in the morning. Should be waking up feeling pretty fine. And then the moon in conjuncts Mars and Taurus. Now, Mars and Taurus in Venus's sign is kind of learning how to be a little bit more feminine. It kind of takes down that toxic masculinity. It helps the masculine really appreciate the body and sensuality. So it can be a really nice time to indulge in your senses. The moon in Sag is kind of very lofty. Remember, it's spirit, so it just wants to manifest things instantly. So it doesn't really pay attention to the body. So your body might actually make you pay attention by, really acting up. Taurus rules the throat, so you could have throat problems, or your throat could feel a bit stuck. And then the moon sextiles the sun. That's a nice aspect as well. And then the moon squares Neptune and Pisces. So this is a very dreamy aspect as we go into Saturday evening here. Good for visualization, romance, imagination, connecting with soulmates, visualization, meditation, creativity, making love. Good for dreaming, so it's a good night to set up lucid dreaming. And then Venus squares Uranus. Now this is another big major aspect. So Saturn restricts, Uranus frees up. Okay, and so Saturn is the traditional ruler of sign of Aquarius. Uranus is the modern ruler. So Venus connects with the old and then connects with the new. So it's really interesting. She is learning how the old structure works, and then she's going to liberate it up. But it's a bit of a challenge because it's still, you're dealing with Taurus structure, which doesn't want to move, and it's very hands-on. And so there could be just a testing or a trial period, or how free do you want to be, how open do you want to get, how much are you willing to risk. Uranus likes to blow things up, so caution to the winds is what Venus and Aquarius is all about. But Uranus and Taurus kind of stubbornly resist, so it's kind of could be very sexy and exciting, quite tense actually. And then the moon in Sag sextiles Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. Again, that's at night. And then the moon goes void, of course, again. Boy, the moon moved really fast there. So then on Sunday, there's only those 3 little aspects. Again, moon sextile Mercury in Aquarius. You might have to repeat an old conversation, or remember an old conversation, or have to deal with some old tech or some old person that you didn't get your 2 cents in. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you set the record straight. That's what retrogrades are good for. And then the moon enters Capricorn. You can see from 1:16 a.m. on the 7th until 3:52 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. The moon is void, of course. It's Sunday. I know every day has been feeling like Sunday, but it is Sunday, so you can chill out a bit. Moon in Capricorn wants to get down to business or get organized, or a little bit sobering after, that kind of moon Neptune addictions, delusions, illusions that happened the day before. So this might be a sobering wake up, like, oh my God, what did I do? So again, with all that Neptune and Pisces energy on the day before, yeah, be careful that you didn't, spend everything you didn't have. So this might be where you have to face the tax man, the bills, and the reality. So the moon in Capricorn squares Chiron and Aries. So yeah, in Pacific Standard Time thing, people might be hurting, okay? That's going to happen on the next day, on the 8th in Eastern Standard Time in GMT. So very interesting. Venus is the active planet dealing with Saturn, and then Uranus, both Aquarian. So big changes in relationships, opening them up. Venus and Saturn also represents the end of relationships and the beginnings of new ones. You got to close the door before you can open another one. So a lot of freedom in relationships. People don't want to be boxed in. They want to be free. So, sending you all the best blessings. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at taratarot.com. Please subscribe to me here on YouTube. Follow me on my blog at infinitynow.wordpress. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on TikTok. And I'm going to have a new moon in Aquarius workshop, a new moon initiation on February the 10th with all of those planets, 7 or 8, lined up in Aquarius. It's going to be very special with actually good aspects as well. So if you want to sign up for that, you'll find the links for that on my blog at infinitynow.wordpress. So sending you many blessings for the weekend.